Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the week 6 game of the week here, and I know we're a little late. We're precisely 3 days late. That's on me. I wasn't feeling too good. No excuses, but basically I didn't want to do it, so I just didn't. Ha ha ha. That's not what happened. Anyway, this is the matchup for Week 5's Game of the Week. We have, actually, I'm very excited for this as well because this is also the second time these two have been featured on Game of the Week. We have Rat and the Mexico Mimikyu against Shark and the Miami Mimikyu. So a double Mimikyu matchup here. I wish I could say multiple Mimikyu matchup, but I guess multiples 2, right? Can we say multiples 2? We're just going to say multiples 2. Anyway, they join Nocturne, being 3 of the coaches now to be featured twice, which is pretty awesome. Good job to both of them. We don't actually have their teams. We don't actually have their teams on us because I forgot to ask for them, and it's been long enough, and I really don't want to wait for them. Is really the main reason. But we are here. It is now. And so getting into this matchup, first of all, the Diancie looks really good, right? So Diancie's okay. Diancie's fine. It doesn't outspeed the Lopunny, which is a big problem. It could have a hard time breaking the Pert depending on a few things, I guess. If Puff can keep it healthy enough. Tornadus Darian is okay against this team. Obviously has knockoff and stuff, and superpower. I guess if you wanted to run superpower for Umbreon potentially, knockoff is just good because this team doesn't super love switching to knockoff. Diancie, especially defensive, can kind of take on Tornadus. I'm not sure how much it's taking from superpower if it wants to be a little physical. Torn almost always has to run knockoff though for Spectriate and Slowking, which is really cool. Which is, well, not really cool, but annoying. Pert has to kind of come because this team here actually doesn't need to. Slowking is actually really good here, especially for the Rotom Heat and the Umbreon. Not really. I mean, it's only good for the Rotom Heat, but Swampert just checks the Rotom Heat way better generally. And also, I'm pretty sure, yeah, Diancie doesn't take out Pert in one hit, so Pert will force it out depending on the percentage. Grookey is also an option here. It checks, or it can hit at least King and Diancie, which is nice, I guess. Go-Go is cool too. Hydreigon's really nice against the opponent team, especially some sort of like maybe possibly mix with superpower. I've seen Workup do lots of stuff. Conkeldurr and Mach Punch is pretty annoying though for this team. It kind of has this team has a really hard time switching into Conk. Arcanine is one of the better options it has for it. Slurpuffs is okay as well. But depending on the speed investment, Conk is kind of taking a life. Conk can't really touch Torn, has to run like Ice Punch or Thunder Punch, which is like not, it's a good read, but still, yeah, this team has a hard time switching into Conkeldurr. Sand Slash is pretty okay after like Sand gets up somehow, if it sets its own Sand. As long as Go-Go and Grookey don't come, it can kind of do stuff with Earthquake plus Stone Edge. Is sort of nice, I guess. Switching into Spectriate is pretty tough from my opponent, from the Mimikyus here. Lopunny can switch in, of course, but it will get hit with a Will-O-Wisp if it does decide so. And I don't know if what it has to hit back with too much power. Like, it has some stuff, obviously, but it's not like the best check in the world. Hydreigon's a pretty good switch into it, actually, if it wants to switch in. But that's enough analysis for now. The teams are 4-1 obviously and 3-2, but let's get into the battle. Okay, so these are the 6 that each team's brought. As I said, we don't have the replays actually. So looking at the team, Shark brought his Tornadus, Slurpuff, Lopunny, Copperajah, Swampert, and Hydreigon, and then Rat brought his Spectriate, Dragalge, Sceptile, Conkeldurr, Slowking, and the Rotom Heat. I'm not sure. So Sceptile is most likely going to be holding the seed. So this field, I believe, is... I forget what field this is, but we're going to see in a second here. But it's most likely holding the seed, so whatever that is could be a problem. Spectre does have a good matchup against this team, specifically Spectre. As soon as that Hydreigon is gone, it kind of goes in. Conkeldurr is really good. Mach Punch does quite a bit to this opponent's team. Swampert, I believe, is the physical Swampert. I think is only switching to it. Rotom Heat also is good, but Swampert is the main check for that. King is okay this game. It should be able to take on, depending on the set, if it's maybe Colbur or something, it should be able to take on the Lopunny 100% and the, well, actually, it just gets flip turned on, but the Copper Jaw and then the Lopunny at full, it should be able to take on. But with that, let's just get into the battle. Play music off, and we're gonna start. Alright, cool. So the field is Ashen Beach. So it's the Rock, Psychic, and something else field. It is the Rock. Let me double check for everybody. Hold on. We're gonna get there. Ashen Beach is fighting Psychic Ground. Oh, it's really close. So the lead is going to be, let's put it on slow real fast. Which side should we go? I believe Nock had, I think neither of these had protagonist view. I'm gonna give Rat protagonist view because, you know, it is what it is. Shark is gonna lead his Copper Jaw on the Slowking, and get bopped with Power Up right away, which really sucks because it actually doesn't suck too much, but it does suck. Slowking is now at 13%, which means he can't really switch in anything right now. He needs to get in a few times to recycle that Regenerator. Toxic comes off from Rotom here on the very maturely named Swampert. Pert is most likely just going to set up rocks here. So the Prism Scale boosts attack and special attack. Actually, it flip turns out, which is cool. So now Sceptile is at +1 in both stats, offensive stats, and of course the Unburden boost. Crunch comes out here on the Copper Jaw as defense falls, and I believe Heat Crush should take it out. Yeah, so right away, if there was Low Kick, maybe even Focus Blast if you wanted to, or Focus Miss, that could have been really cool. I'm sure it would have taken out the Copper Jaw, at least Focus Blast, but that's not how it went down. This Copper Jaw is pretty nice, especially considering it has maybe Earthquake. It really messes up Dragalge, Slowking, and I believe another defensive mon we saw earlier in the match in the breakdown. So offensive Copper Jaw is really cool this game, and it's going to claim the first kill of the game. Kong comes out here and is going to force it out into Tornadus, and I believe the Kong just clicks Earthquake, so he's going to be forced out here as he gets the burn pop, which is nice. He stays in, predicting the U-turn, which is really cool, and Pert comes back out on the Stone Edge. So he's going to take quite a bit of damage, especially after the Toxic. So he goes down to 65, which isn't a ton, but it's better than nothing. Rocks come out here as Kong stays in and clicks Knockoff. It's going to secure the kill with the Toxic, which is really cool. So Rotom's actually going to get the credit for that kill, but it's 1-1 now. Great play by Rat, keeping his stuff in there twice. Boots Rotom switches into Tornadus, which should have a pretty easy time. Who's going to U-turn out here into Hydreigon on a Volt Switch, what should be a Volt Switch. Cool. Volt Switch comes out here, and now Hydreigon is in a good position because, yeah, Rat doesn't really have a switch into this thing. So Dragalge comes in here and eats a Dark Pulse. Not sure why the Draco didn't come out here, but I'm not sure why the Draco didn't come from Shark. I'm not gonna lie, maybe he doesn't have it. Draco's always the play there, I think. I'm not sure why it wasn't the play. I don't know why he didn't make that play. But Dragalge is gonna eat. Maybe this thing is AV. I'm not sure what that calc looks like if it is AV. This thing isn't specs, so maybe it lived AV Draco anyway, but still Draco's always the play. And now Hydreigon is down. Dragalge is sitting at 58%. The other maturely named Lopunny comes out here and fake outs the Dragalge, doing 26%, which is unreal. And is going to get a Power Up Punch off on it, trying to set up the sweep because the Slowking is so low. He doesn't really have a super good switch into it. Kong comes back out here to threaten Mach Punch, which is pretty much his only way to deal with this thing, and of course he does click Mach Punch, and now he is up 5-3 right now. Kong is still alive. It should beat, depending if it has, well, it doesn't have focus much. Yeah, so knockoff takes out the Copperhead Jaw here, and now the position is very bad for Shark, right? Like, he's down 4 mons. He's got this, like, pink cherry thing, and then ugly Birdman. So Conkeldurr is out here taking slow chips of damage from Burn. He does not have Drain Punch, and it doesn't matter at this point because these two is fighting. So Conk is not useless, but it is annoying if Shark misses a Hurricane here. But I believe Shark should go into Slurpuff here, depending on the set. So Slurpuff comes out here, Prism Scale as activated, he gets attack and special attack. He is always run like the same set on this guy. But he reveals Psychic and Conk goes down, which is the best play. Conk wasn't really doing too much unless Torn missed a Hurricane, and that's just not a super great thing to bet on. Sand Tomb comes out here and Slurpuff is going to take some damage. King comes back to recycle its Regenerator. And Calm Mind is going to boost the special attack, and it's going to go by +2. Rotom comes out here to try Toxic. It eats a Psychic because Slurpuff is awful. And now the Sand Tomb plus Toxic is going to be chipping this thing down way before he runs out of mons, but it is still a problem. He's going to sack his Dragology because it's not doing anything else this game, and he needs Rotom to try to take a Hurricane from Torn. Draining Kiss comes out here, but Toxic plus Sand Tomb is going to bring it down to practically nothing, and Slowking comes back out here, which is the right play. Obviously, Knockoff is still going to mess him up, but he's going to live this for sure, and he should just slack off, right? Nope, he clicks Future Sight, which is fine. Within the next 2 turns, this guy should be dead, and then Torn will be having to eat that. So Draining Kiss comes out here, and this guy should die this turn to both the Toxic stuff and the Sand Tomb. Oh, just kidding, it was Freed of Sand Tomb, which means Rotom's dead now. I think this was a misplay. I think he needed Rotom to try to take a Hurricane. Obviously, he doesn't know what the 4th move is. It's clearly U-turn Hurricane, Knockoff, and then possibly Superpower or Roost. Maybe something that could hit Rotom, but I think you need always this Rotom intact, unless Hurricane killed from that range, which I doubt it did, depending on the spread. But I think that you always need to let your Rotom live. I think that Slowking is practically useless at this point, right? Because now it comes back in at 40%. Future Sight is going to kill this guy, though. And now Shark is actually in a position to win. Slowking is at 11%, which means it dies to a Knockoff. Even after Regenerator, it'll be at 41%. Knockoff should kill from there. At least it should, depending on the investment. Spectrier here can Will-O-Wisp, but if it is Specs locked, then the Tornadus should be able to clutch this up, depending on the investment. I believe it needs some sort of HP investment. Shadow Ball comes out here, and it does a hefty chunk, and then the Knockoff comes into play, which means Shadow Ball is no longer about to hit KO. I'm not sure if there was a rule there. It lived. Torn takes it out with the 2nd Knockoff, and then the final and 3rd Knockoff onto the Slowking should finish this game off. Yeah. So, great game by both sides. It is the closest game we've had all season, I'm pretty sure. Literally coming down to 5%, 5 HP. So yeah, it was a good game by both sides. I think that the we can find out together. Let's see how much the so let's say your Rotom Heat with just no investment, right? Tornadus Therian. Yeah, see Hurricane is doing, I don't know if you guys can see that. Okay. Yeah, so Hurricane, it obviously does depend on the set here. If he's max, even if he is max, he needs to be modest. Which I guess is possible, but because he does not need to outspeed the Spectrier, he could be modest. But I also doubt that he's 0 HP investment on the Rotom. So the Rotom always should have lived 1 Hurricane, and Volt Switch or Thunderbolt at that point is kind of securing the kill, right? So Thunderbolt is, yeah, see Thunderbolt's doing quite a bit of damage, and Thunderbolt in conjunction with Shadow Ball should have been able to do the job, but it is what it is. It happens sometimes. But yeah, I think this was a really close game. It was firmly in in Rat's hand, I guess, depending on the spreads, of course. There's always things we can't account for in building, or especially without looking at the sets. But GG's to Shark. That was a good game. Good game by both sides, actually. Great game. And they join Nocturine as being the three coaches who have been in Game of the Week twice. But that is all we have time for today. SPDL Week 3 comes out tomorrow if I don't die after therapy. Physical therapy, not like any other type of therapy. And possibly Pokemon Trainer Orange does next week's or a future installment of Game of the Week, because he's everyone's favorite Orange. But other than that, without further ado, that doesn't work here. But that is going to be all for me today. Goodbye, God bless, and have a great day.